This is Express Training Bites. I am Brandon Petrich. I'm the digital media director at Promo Corner, and I have a phenomenal guest for you guys today. He is the president of RMR PPA, Rocky Mountain Regional. He's the Southwest sales executive for Raining Rose. He's a travel blogger without the blog. He's one of my really good friends and a past coworker, Quinn Bui. Quinn, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So today, everybody, Quinn is going to be talking to us and giving us some tips on running and attending some virtual events. So Quinn, take it away.
Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate that. Again, I'm Quinn, Southwest Outside Sales Executive for Raining Rose, the Rocky Mountain Regional Promotional Product Association, current president for 2020 and also 2021. It's so fun, so I'm doing it all over again. So thanks, Brandon, for letting me share a little bit of the things I've learned along the way. RMR, we've learned quite a bit this past year. So it's a great way to just kind of end everything and just kind of look at what we've learned this year. So today I'm going to share 3 things people should think about when holding a virtual event and some tips to suppliers on how to be successful at a virtual trade show. This year, like all regional association, we were forced to be creative and come up with ways to have events in person and also online. Today, we focus on our online events. So 3 things people should think about when holding a virtual event. Number 1, know your audience. What event are you putting together? Are you putting together a networking event? Are you putting together a learning event or a fun event? It's important for people to know what they're getting into when you're promoting this. So make sure when you email blasting it to people that it's in your event. So if you say happy hour, what's also going to happen in your happy hour? Number 2, have an agenda in order to stay on track for the people, be respectful for everyone's time. So you don't want to say an hour and you drag it on for an hour and a half or 2 hours. Usually people, put that time out for you. So make sure you keep within that time frame just to respect everyone's time. Number 3 is be interactive. So create polls, create games, breakout groups, promote people to chat, have prizes. So just make it fun, make it interactive, and it's always fun to do things to people to get people excited and just to be there and be aware. Because there's plenty of times where I'm sitting in a virtual event where I'm just kind of like zoned out because like the host is just talking, everyone's just talking, and I'm just like zoning out because I'm not really in it and being active in the whole conversation. So make sure you're being interactive. That's one thing that we really do focus on whenever we do any events when it comes to in-person or even online. So again, I've been on a ton of virtual events. So not just RMR, but I've been with a bunch of regional events, been with all kinds of different things in the past year. And so don't feel like you have to have over like 100 people to show up to have an successful event. I really do believe it's what you make of it. So depending on what event it is, it can be 15 people, it could be 200 people, just whatever event you put together, that make sure that it's fun and interactive and people want to come back and do it all over again with you, which is really important because you want people to come back again and again to join you. So some examples, successful events that RMR has put together this past year has been our happy hour show and tell. This is where everyone showed up with their favorite promotional product, distributors and suppliers. So it was super interactive. It was super fun event. So we had, distributors show some of their events and just like, this is just some of the cool things that I've seen. We had suppliers go on there and show some of their events or some of their products that they love. So it was just a fun event, very interactive, a lot of laughs, a lot of funny things. So again, we really do focus on that interactive and try not to be the person that's just on there just talking the whole time. Another great event would be our Rocky Box. So we were the first ever product box in our industry. which we tied it to a virtual event where we had a virtual box opening event. So we sent out over 150 boxes. We had about, I want to say 13 or 14 suppliers had an item in this box. And we created a space where suppliers were able to demonstrate their product online. So it was very educational and it was very interactive. So one thing that we did too is we sent a box to even the suppliers themselves. We always felt that suppliers kind of sometimes forget that they kind of left out with some cool things. Like one thing I always thought was awesome, like Common SKU always gave things out to everybody, suppliers and distributors. So people love the event. They're able to share their products, wear their jackets of the Common SKU as a distributor or supplier. So you're proud to be a part of this whole program. So that's what we wanted to do also for the Rocky Box, is include the distributors and the suppliers. So we sent those boxes to the supplier too. And it was a really good time because we waited until that day. We had a little sticker on there where we said, don't open it until the actual opening event. So on that day, we had everybody on there. We had over, I want to say 70 people on this virtual event. And we counted down 1, 2, 3, and then boom, everybody opening up, everyone's taking a look and everything. And we jumped into suppliers talking about their products. So again, it was super fun, interactive. People had questions right there, right on. Each supplier had about 3 minutes to talk about their product. And it was just a great event to put together. Another event we did was during holidays or during Halloweens, we did a booze and bingo night where we had a costume contest, bingo, and fun prizes. So it was fun, outside the norm. It was interactive. It was a bunch of great costumes on there, a lot of laughs, a lot of great group of people together. That had about, I want to say 30, 40 people on there. Let's see. And then the biggest virtual event that we did this year with RMR was we teamed up with ASBA, AZPPA, for the Four Corner Virtual Trade Show. We had speakers on there, we had discussion panels, we had suppliers booth, we had networking room. We had over 150 attendees show up. So overall, it was a great event for everybody. So we had both sides, from people from Colorado, Utah, we had Arizona. So a ton of people coming together, and it was I want to say 4-hour span. And we had people speaking, trade show, people were able to bounce back and forth. So it was such a great event. So at RMR, we strive to connect our community through meaningful experiences to help each other grow professionally and enhance each other's business. I do want to give a shout out to all the RMR board for doing a great job this past year. They have been such rock stars, because we really been sitting together, brainstorming all these creative ideas and how do we connect our community together. And just this year has been so fun again, that for 2021, I'm going to do it all over again and be with this great board that we have. All right. So we'll move on. So going on to with Promo Show, doing virtual shows and PPAI, virtual trade shows coming up in January. I want to give some tips to suppliers on how to be successful, have a successful booth at a virtual trade show. So pre-COVID, we were also used to having these in-person trade shows where the host brings distributors to an event and they walk through each aisle, then stop at each booth. Well, in a virtual trade show event, distributors don't have to see everybody. They have the option to pick and choose who they want to see. There's no obligation for them to stop at all booths. So here's some tips that can help drive people to your booth. So number one, before the show, send out email blasts, social media posts, email reminders, tell people on the phone, let the world know that you're going to be at the show, so people know to come to stop at your booth. I think for so long, we were so used to, the hosts, regionals and expos to bring people into a space and they walk through, and you don't have to really promote much because people are going to walk by you, people are going to see you, and you just pull them in. But in this virtual reality world, you can't just go out there and just be like, hey guys, oh, hey, how are you doing? Nice tie. You can't do that in this virtual space. So you can't rely on being there and just trying to bring people into your room. You have to do that extra work prior to get people into your room. So, you know, you're going into the PPAI Expo or you're going into any of the virtual trade show space, you're going to have 50 to 100 or even more suppliers. So how are you going to be different? How are you going to stand out? So number two, have prizes, give distributors incentives to show up or have them have drawings throughout the day. Number three, how are you showing, are you showing more than just your product at these virtual trade shows? Are you giving people ideas? Are you giving people case studies? Are you giving people factory tours? How are you setting yourself apart from other suppliers? What can they get from you at the show that they can't get on your website? I think this is something that's really big because they're already sitting at the computer. What can they get from you at that virtual event that they can't get on your website? Because they're only one click away from your website. So there's something that you have to tell people or do at that virtual space to stand out, be different, and again, want people to come back to you again at another virtual trade show. If they go to your space and you show their product, they're like, well, I can see this all on the website, so I don't need to go see them again. So give those people case studies, ideas, factory tours, stand out, be different, because you want people to come back again at another virtual event. So one thing I do know is that PPAI virtual trade show, suppliers do have the option to have a welcome video, place for business materials, feature products, a place to show show specials. So please, please, please make sure you do all of these options as it is there to help distributors learn more about your business. So take all of that and it's there to help people. Don't skip on any of that because it's really going to help you, again, stand out, be different from everybody else. If you're just going to be in the background of just all your products, you know, again, what's the point of them coming to see you? So make sure you're giving more, you know, give them a reason to see you. All right, so I hope these tips can help you be successful in these shows. So good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help you answer anything. So
well done, Quinn. Love it, man. Those are awesome tips. I mean, and the hardest part is, and I love that you made the comparison and contrast between a physical show and then a virtual show. How, you know, you're right. We're standing in that 10 by 10 or that 10 by 20 booth, and we're just trying to get as many people in, scan them, get them the flyers, and get them out, right? And it's totally different in a virtual setting. In a virtual setting, we're really focused on making sure that we're answering the questions that they have, right? Because we know that, first of all, they've already broken through one barrier of getting used to talking into that little dot on their computer. And so we don't want to make them even 10 times more uncomfortable by just immediately starting to do sales pitches. So I love the other thing that you said, where don't just push your product, ask them how they're doing, talk about their background. Yeah, that's cool, man. I love it. And I just want to say too, I was part of the Rocky Box opening, and I thought it was probably one of the coolest events. In fact, we've got a comment here from Walter Kurt, who was actually part of that as well. He says, it was awesome. Y'all included the suppliers as well as the boxes. Sometimes they have forgotten the heroes in the pipeline. So whose idea was it to include the suppliers? Because that does kind of seem a little outside of the norm.
Yeah, well, we were just putting these boxes together and we're just like, you know what? We want to include suppliers in this because, you know, I feel like we want distributors and suppliers to have fun because, you know, when you get this box, you're just so excited, you know, it's Christmas all over again, right? So you're like, you get this box, you're like, what is in this thing? We wanted that experience for the supplier itself because, again, we feel like suppliers sometimes do get left out. I've been a distributor and also a supplier, so I've been on both sides. And you know, you really do sometimes feel like you get left out being a supplier. So that's why I always appreciate like Common SKU, like giving out, you know, to suppliers and distributors, PPAI with the Sparks, same thing. They give out to both sides. So we wanted to do the same thing, include both side distributors and suppliers in
Wait, so are you saying that suppliers are human too?
there.
Oh,
I am a human.
interesting.
I am a supplier now.
Interesting. No, that is awesome, man. That is awesome. And so outside of your amazing work that you have done, because first of all, you're a pretty young dude, and I think they can kind of tell that just by looking at us. But at the same time, you're the president of a major association inside of the industry as well. And so to be just tossed this, ugh, what do we do now, right? Because before regionals, we're already struggling trying to get membership, and then how do we get the membership? So how has these virtual events and thinking outside of the box, have you seen it affect your membership, or at least hold on to the membership instead of having a mass exodus, because people don't have the money, so they don't see the value? What's kind of
Mhm.
been the correlation between the two?
I think being so young too, and being able to bring this young mind onto the board was something that was really good. That's why they actually chose me to be a president, because I'm just a thank you. I'm all about creative. I'm all about ideas. So I'm constantly trying to think of ways to bring people together and just have fun at the same time, learn and create that community. So just being able to put that mindset into what we have right now during this whole pandemic is it's been really good, because it's just I'm pretty technical when it comes to like the virtual world, social media. So I'm able to take those skill set and really add it into what's going on right now. So
Mhm.
it's just you just have to take on with full force and not be afraid of it. And that's something that our whole board has been great at. We've really been able to sit down or not sit down, sit down virtually and come up with these great ideas. So one thing that was good about us already is we already were on this track to going virtual anyway. So we were already using Slack to communicate on there. So
Nice.
we didn't have to shoot emails back and forth. So we already had this platform that communication was really easy on our board. So that's one thing that set us up that's really nice through this whole thing is we didn't have to look through emails and hop on phone calls all the time. You can see what everybody is doing on each committee. So has really helped the committee to work harder, because if you're on the events and you see the expos like page running, like going crazy, like, oh man, I really should help. I'm not doing anything right now. So it was really good to have people see what's going on and just hop in whenever they can. So yeah,
That's
just,
awesome.
our
Well,
board is just amazing. That's all I gotta say.
oh, absolutely. No, and I think that's an overarching statement too for all of the industry too. I mean, because the boards are voluntary, right? So
Mhm.
that's what's phenomenal, is that people are already maxed on time and emotions, and then we're asking them, hey, can you give just 10% more? And I think that the members also notice that too. And one of the things that you said, and I wrote it down, attendance. People get so wrapped up in the attendance of a virtual event. And you said
Mhm.
one of probably the biggest keys that I think people need to realize is that you don't have to have thousands of people at your video event. If you
Mhm.
touch one person every time you go live, or one person every time you do a video or a piece of content,
Mhm.
it's worth it. So that
Exactly.
was awesome. So, and you said you thought you had about 100 plus at the Rocky Box and about 150 at the expo. Is that about right?
Yeah, about 60 people or 70. I forgot what it was. It's been so long since the Rocky Box, but we had quite a bit of people. You were on that call, and I want to say it was like a ton of people. I want to say maybe 70, 80 maybe.
Yeah.
And over 150 attendees at our Four Corner trade show where we did with ASBA. And you were there too. You were
I
helping out. So
was.
100% appreciate you hopping on and helping us with all the technical stuff. So thank you very much. uh,
Well, no, and I think and the people may know, but Quinn and I actually we've known each other for a long time. We both worked at a small supplier up in northern Colorado called Tropico Imports. They're still around and crushing. So I'm from Colorado. You're still living there. My heart is still there, but I am down in Texas. And I do have a little comment here that I want to make sure I get before I end this. Here at Promo Corner, we have probably the best time virtually as a team. None of us actually live in the same city. I mean, outside of the family up in Boston, but the rest of us, we're all working remotely. And so we have affectionately called our Lori in our business, and she runs all of the fun. We've affectionately called her the chief fun officer. So she commented down here and said that Quinn is also a CFO. So you are also the chief fun officer over at RMR. Quinn,
Yes.
congratulations this year on all of the events, man. RMR is they are lucky to have you and have a board that is willing to listen to somebody with these crazy ideas of doing things online. So yeah, one more thing. How can, if people have questions or if they want to talk to you outside of just this little event to get some help with their virtual event, how can they reach you, Quinn?
Yeah, so there's a couple of spaces that we're able to communicate through. So Facebook, just direct message me down there. Instagram at Bomb Diggity Bui. That's my thing too. Hey, I'm the bomb.
I love it.
The lip balm though. You can also email me too at qbui@rainingrose.com. More than happy to help you out. More than happy to have the conversation with you, how to stand out, be apart from everybody else, and just be different. It's really about standing out, being different in the space that is so crowded, right? So.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching this Express Training Bites. Let's see. So we will not have one next week because it will be Christmas Eve. So have a happy holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, all of those things that you celebrate. And we will see you in that little weird gap between Christmas and then 2021, which we're all looking forward to. So Quinn, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, happy holidays at everybody at Promo Corner, and happy holidays for everybody that's watching right now too. So thanks again for having me here. Appreciate it.
Awesome. See you guys soon.